Emma is out Bugatti shopping. She's,
what if the women start to be the ones that are driving Bugattis?
I'm gonna be messed up in the head.
We're sitting on the sidewalk having to lie about our body counts.
Exactly. Oh, should we play that idiot again? Let's just do this. Let's just play Tim Pool, get him out of the way. We played a clip from Tim Pool the other day in his, I don't know, he's going through his pickup artist phase.
Sort of like kind of like the incel / pickup artist. So bridging the gap between the two sort of.
Well, that's what it is, right? Like the pickup artist
always been that,
is the baiting of the incels.
Yeah. And
but he may be the first pickup artist / incel, combo. But what's amazing about this clip, and the last clip we played from this segment was about how he should be slut shaming Instagram women, so that because he's top tier guy or other top tier guys should, so that they I'm not exactly sure. I can't remember exactly what insanity it was, but here he is. What's interesting about this, Tim seems to have an awareness. He's like onto something about the nature of the guests that he has on the program. But then he doesn't quite square the circle, as it were. Here is Tim Pool having done his own sort of study as to what women think about their right to have a vote. Not joking.
And this is a component of the society.
It comes down to simply to this. Privilege is invisible to those that have it. And women don't understand that they're given their $1 million up front. I always use the differences of a woman is the equivalent to a trust fund baby, whereas a man is a self-made millionaire. And then what ends up happening is, and what I mean by that is that women get their value up front. When they turn 18 years old, they're effectively given access to $1 million, and it's up to them how they want to spend it. But then, they're 30 years old, single at the bar, buying their own drinks. And then they say, what the hell, where did all the good men go? I always say women basically mature once they start to buy their own drinks at the bar. Okay?
And it's I want to make sure it's clear. We're not saying absolutely, but there is a social tendency.
In general.
And I'm not saying it's a good
in general.
Oh, pause. Okay.
Bullshitting.
I hadn't seen this part of the clip. This is actually just a lead-in, which I didn't realize is like equally offensive. But it is, kudos to Tim saying that this is not every woman. It's just the majority of women who's have all their value from the age of 18 to 30. And it's like a trust fund. I guess they can sell off their youth. Is that what it is? They can cash in their youth.
So stupid.
By finding like a high value guy.
Youth credits.
But then when they get to 30, this is just honestly like, this is
bullshitting.
Listen, I feel like if you're a parent of children who are like over the age of 8, you've experienced this, where you overhear a conversation between your kid and their friends. They can be 10-year-olds, they can be 15-year-olds, and you hear how sure they are of stuff and how completely wrong they are.
Yeah.
But like, and it can be just completely bat crap crazy, but they just believe it because they're young kids.
Oh yeah.
These guys are just
making money.
Arrested kids, essentially arrested adults.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard of these guys before, but you can just tell. And there's like, if you look at search them misogyny, there's a bunch of stuff that comes up. It looks like, but they're just like, this is just talk. Like, so people know that.
Well, I think they believe it. It's just that it's so lucrative,
right? Exactly.
That there's no questioning it in their minds.
And so they think they're some sort of like intellectuals, and they're just talking complete hot air,
complete nonsense. Well, that's exactly what. Honestly, like if you heard like 3 10-year-olds talking about like, like even just like they don't fully grasp what Wi-Fi is. They're like, my phone doesn't have Wi-Fi when I'm out in the street.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you're not getting internet service. Like you don't quite know, but no, it's Wi-Fi.
But Fresh and Fit, they're not where they are on Tim Pool's show and with the prominence of social media because they're actually helping men socialize. They're there because unsocialized men think that they're getting some kind of value from this,
Insight,
but
exactly.
actually they're just becoming more and more
They're becoming
insulated.
more and more insulated and more sort of like desocialized.
Yeah, alienated from
Yeah.
people. You're getting worse when you live with all these people.
Wants to start to buy their own drinks at the bar.
And it's,
Okay?
and it's, and it's, and it's, I want to make sure it's clear. We're not saying absolutely, but
No,
there
no,
is a
no.
social
I wouldn't-
tendency.
in general,
And I'm not
yes.
saying it's a good
in
thing
general,
either.
in general.
Yeah,
This is
and
all in general.
Again,
But yeah.
women want equality until the Transformers transform into the sports. Then at that point, they don't want it no more too. But
Yeah.
again,
Break that down. What do you mean?
Transformers. I don't want to say the word on YouTube.
Oh.
I mean, of course, yeah.
It means as in men entering the female.
Yeah.
Was that about trans people?
Yes. He was worried they'd get like either a content strike.
No, but
or
I mean, but what was he
demonetization.
saying in that?
I don't even know what he's saying.
He was basically saying that women want equality until trans people can start like kind of doing what they do, sort of, and then they don't want it. I think is what he's saying. It's not particularly coherent.
Oh, they're anti-trans because women want them to be, apparently.
I
guess
see,
he's making
okay.
it-
On YouTube.
Oh.
I mean, of course, yeah.
It means as in men entering the female
Yeah.
sports.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
you know,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I
and
think
they're absolutely destroying them.
I think it's true. Women tend to be communitarian. I think is that what you said?
Yeah,
Communitarian.
yeah.
And
And
men tend to be meritocratic.
Even in Miami itself, like a lot of girls.
pause it for a
come to
second.
Miami-
Yeah, the idea of
The uterus is really communitarian.
First off, aside from like sort of these broad strokes of like men, the idea
Also,
that
women are from
communitarian and meritocracy are in opposition to each other in some fashion.
Right, yeah.
You know why men might be more meritocratic? Because they're in power. And so if you say that I'm here because of merit, like it's very convenient.
Yeah. That's why I'm here.
I mean, this concept, honestly, is like this is literally like freshman year of college, getting high in the dorm. You're thinking about
Yeah.
things like meritocracy. If you have the power in a society that came from just sheer brute force, right? I mean, ultimately, like that's what we're evolving from, where sheer brute force dictated, whether it was like, going through, generations, whether it's takes the form of like kings and armies, and then, we slowly sort of like democratize, you develop what merit means based upon the fact that it undergirds your being on top of the heap. So I'm the, I could say that really the most meritorious person in a society is the one who has, the most YouTube followership. That's one of the ways in which you could do it. Right? I mean, we could like if I was in charge of society and I had the power, I could say like, really merit is really determined by YouTube viewership. And I could say this, like, I don't have the highest YouTube viewership, but I'd be pretty far up there relative to the rest of society. That's what like you embrace the meritocracy, and you create the meritocracy around what you're good at if you have power in society. And that's what you determine is what constitutes merit. Continue.
Well,
and they're absolutely destroying them.
I think it's true. Women tend to be communitarian. I think is that what you said?
Yeah,
Communitarian.
yeah.
And
And
men tend to be meritocratic.
Even in Miami itself, like a lot of girls, they come to Miami thinking, oh, you know what, I'm going to be taken care of. I'm going to be taken care of by a sugar daddy, whatever, or just have a better job. But they realize it's not that easy. And then what do they turn to? OnlyFans. I can go online, sell my feet pictures, make 100K or
Yeah. Well, I
20K
mean,
a month, and be chilling.
Women get mad at me when I say that women in general have more opportunities and
This is
live
just
life on easy
general.
mode to get mad when I say
Incidentally,
that.
we should just know, this is just generalizing. You know, generally what women do is they go down to Miami, think they're going to get taken care of or get a job, and then they just go to OnlyFans. Generally, that's what women do.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, generally, you can make 100,000 just selling
Not
pictures of their
every woman, just generally. Go ahead.
Mad at me when I say that women in general have more opportunities and live life on easy mode. They get mad when I say that, but I truly mean, if a girl's attractive or even mildly attractive, she's going to have far more opportunities than a guy.
It's actually, as we're getting close to wrapping up, I'll just point this out.
Yeah.
I think a large portion of the women we've had on TimCast IRL are in favor of repealing the 19th Amendment.
Oh, W women.
I'm not kidding.
W.
Yeah.
And it's like a joke where all of the guys will be like, no, there's like women should vote, and the women are like, no. And it's weird. But what I think is, I think a lot of
even know. W.
No, but listen.
Yeah.
Women who are political and learned on a lot of these issues probably agree with the components. I don't think they'd agree with the solutions you propose. They would agree with the problems that are occurring.
Yeah.
When you talk about women's value and all that, they'll completely agree with you on that. I think the women we have here would probably fall more into your camp about wanting to be married from looking at it holistically and generationally, but would also then be like, women shouldn't vote. It's kind of, I don't know, it's weird. I guess my point is, I think the political women we've had on the show, on our show, agree with you guys
Yeah,
they're
on the
psychos.
issues of social dynamics.
Yeah.
Now, what can you surmise if you go back over all of the women that you've had as guests on your show?
Besides Emma.
Except for Emma, who is just a stick in the mud, doesn't know how to eat, doesn't want to hang and do.
She thinks women should be able to vote, apparently.
But what can you surmise about your show?
The centrist show, middle of the road
Centrist, middle of the road show, where you're just not getting into the radical left, where the majority, I think you said most, which is it's sort of like, I guess maybe more or less the majority, but probably more than that, just the bare majority, he's saying, think that women shouldn't have the right to vote. How representative do you think the cross-section of women that you have had on your show has been? I wonder if, as those were coming out of his mouth, he was sort of hesitating. I wonder if it was occurring to him, hey, wait a second. Maybe the pool of women that I am drawing my guests from is a little bit narrow.
Yeah. I have remembered where I've seen these guys before, Fresh and Fit. If you have that clip ready, Bradley. But this is from an episode. I'm not sure what this website's called. SC. It looks like a viral website, but it goes into Myron compared women to vehicles in an unearthed video. Myron is the skinnier guy. Myron compared women to vehicles in an unearthed video that has now gone viral and questioned why he should have to pay full price for a used one. Fans thought his comments were repulsive because he denigrated women. He made crude, vulgar. Now this is what I saw though, a year ago, which is a woman, Brittany Renner on social media confronted them to their face about, when he's talking about I'm just speaking generally.
Right.
That's him being a chicken shit. And Brittany Renner called him out on that. We'll have to pause this at about 30 seconds. I'll let you know, Bradley.
That
Just
humor
women
me.
in general.
Well, no, don't women in general, because you literally specifically said before we got on here
This is all off-camera
that
conversation.
you did say that
That's true.
you warn guys about girls like me. So now that we're face to face, what kind of girl am I?
You're not special. You're like other girls. That's the key.
I'm not special. Tell me about.
I never said I was.
What do you gain from telling girls that they're not special? How does that make you feel?
Oh, we got a problem.
Telling girls that they're not special. How does that make you feel?
Oh, hold on. Let me get that.
Okay, we'll have to pull this, yeah.
Hold on. Bear with us on this.
There's Elon has messed up with the video serving, so older stuff isn't playing that well.
It is amazing, though, you could actually say, the majority of the female guests that we've had on the program don't think women have the right, should have the right to vote.
Insane, yeah.
How do those words come out of your mouth and not occur to you that, am I really investigate. Like, his whole thing is about, his is all Ruben, like I too. Like, I like ideas and this and that. I'm trying to understand it. And that is amazing to me. All right, but here's those two guys.
Warn guys about girls like me, so tell me about girls like me.
Just
Humor
women
me.
in general. Like, I mean,
Well,
there's
no, don't women in general, because you literally specifically said before we got on here
This is all off-camera
that
conversation.
you did say that.
That's true.
You warn guys about girls like me. So now that we're face to face, what kind of girl am I?
you're not special. You're like other girls. That's the
I'm
key.
not special.
Like,
So-
you're like other women that are
So
like,
what makes you special then?
I never said I was.
What do you gain from telling girls that they're not special? How does that make you feel?
So the language gets a little bit too much for, I think, our show here, but I would recommend you looking up the rest of that, I think.
Oh, really? What does he start saying? Stuff
Well,
like,
she starts calling him a bitch ass, and
oh, I see.
so I don't know if we can play that.
Yeah, probably not the best.
But a very
good for her.
Yeah, exactly. That, like, I'm talking about women in general. You're not special. That's sort of like, these guys are fucking pathetic, man.
It's so sad. It's it really is amazing the way that some people make their money.
But Tim Pool likes them, so I guess maybe they are alpha. High value men.
Super high value. Phone lines are open. 646-257-3920. MSNB Seder. Sam, I know you're normally off on Thursdays. You're going to be hosting tomorrow. Will you have Binder fill in or something since Emma's off? I'm going to be hosting the first half of the show, and then Binder's going to take over because I got to run. Omega, these fresh and fit people went viral for the lanky guy with obvious hair plants. Saying ways to manipulate girls into sleeping with you after coming or inviting you over if they say no. The shorter guy had this fake NBA player story of girls just performing oral sex on them. Glad they're drawing out Tim's crybaby complaints about striking out with many women. Kid tested popular approved. Pretty sure my M's are based solely on merit and not because of random circumstance. Ezard, Sam, have you mentioned for years and years the GOP has made a Trump-sized suit and he just filled in it? Think about those attributes and values in making that suit and then compare it to how Tim, fresh and fit, are talking about high-value males left his best. Yes, without a doubt. Space Case, fresh and fit are just mad because no one wants to buy their feet pics because that would be so much easier than doing low-effort misogyny. I don't know what that means.
I mean, I'm just trying to think of the political economy if all of a sudden every woman thought that, like, oh, I can make $100K selling pictures of my feet. I think, like, the market might get a little bit saturated.
Narrator, women interested in invested in politics don't want to vote? Question mark. Bullprog, red pill guy philosophy. I think, therefore I am right. Kowalski Tinder profile. Hello, ladies. Are you interested in a Sigma male who is the sheer brute force of manifestation of man? Well, your search is over. Where is Jessica Hyde? Let me take a wild guess that none of these three morons have daughters. Dr. Shock. Women have more opportunities in dating, and that's about it. Margot from Mass. Laugh my ass off. Tim saying learned.